In this lesson, we are going to see how we can use Azure PowerShell to manage the resources deployed in Azure. So we are going to install PowerShell on our laptop or the module which is required to manage the Azure resources using PowerShell. By default, latest operating systems like Windows 10, they already have PowerShell installed. So this is my base machine. It is a new Windows 10 operating system and no other softwares has been installed. So you can go to the start menu and search for PowerShell, and then it will show you PowerShell application, and then there is one PowerShell IAC also. This is like a code editor which is useful when you want to create scripts and write PowerShell scripts. And the PowerShell terminal or the command line interface, this is useful when you want to run commands interactively. So right now I have opened the PowerShell command menu which can help us to run commands interactively. You can change the font size. Let me increase the font size so that it is visible properly. Okay, so here we can see I have launched the PowerShell from the start menu. Now once it is launched, you can see what is the version of the PowerShell, or if you want to install any other additional modules, you can install those modules. So if we can run these commands, I will simply copy paste it. So this will tell you what is the installed version of your PowerShell. So this is basic information. It can help you to identify the currently installed PowerShell. And then there are some different other ways for installing PowerShell on your machine. You can download it and install if needed. Now let's see how we can install the PowerShell module. By default, the different modules are not installed on your machine, but if you want to install the module, any specific application module, then you can run command install dash module, and then you can give a name of the module az. In this case, as of now, the Azure PowerShell module is called as az. Now if we try to run this command, let's see what happens. Now it says we don't have the administrative rights. So what we can do, we can again open we can close this PowerShell window and open PowerShell as an administrator. Okay, now again I have searched the PowerShell, and now I'm opening it as a run as administrator. Click on yes if it asks you, and now we can try to install the module. Install dash module dash name, and then give the name of the module. Okay, so on this screen you can see that now it's asking that do you want to install it. You can say yes, no, or suspend, as depend on what you want to do. Here we can say yes or type Y. Type Y so that the installation can make start. Okay, now you can see the installation has been started. Now this will basically download the package from the repository and it will install it on your machine. And again, since we have not added this repository in the trust, that's why it's saying do you want to install it from the untrusted repository. We can type yes, or you can type a yes to all and hit enter. Give it a minute or so. It depends on your internet connection speed, and also your system performance. It may take a minute or so. So you can notice that the installation has started. It took a while on my machine to start the installation because I am using virtual machine for the lab and testing purpose. So it may take a while, depend on the system and the internet connection. So right now it is installing different packages. It is downloading packages from the PowerShell repository and installing it on your machine. So we need to wait until the installation gets completed. So it took a while, approx 3-4 minutes it took on my machine to complete the all modules installation. And now we should get a command prompt back so that we can run additional commands. So now you can see that the PowerShell AZ module installation has been completed, and now we can run additional commands as needed. So what we did, we just use the PowerShell command or cmd let install dash module dash name is the parameter name, and then we enter the module name, which is AZ, and then hit enter. This command helps us to install PowerShell module. Now, in case you don't know what is the name of the module, what you can do is you can type command get, other you can type find dash module, and then you can type dash name and star az. So now this will search the repository where I type incorrect command module dash name and then give a name of the module. So this will search for any PowerShell module which has a name AZ, or you can type any kind of name in case you want to type Azure. Let's see if there any kind of PowerShell module which has a word Azure, or you can use the star also wildcard search. That also can be done. So it did found one module with the name Azure, but the module which we are currently using, or the latest module which Microsoft has released for Azure management, its name is Azure. If you find any older modules like Azure RM, so those are the older modules. Those are no longer active or in support. So you have to use the latest Azure PowerShell module. Okay. So now we can clear the screen. So we learned one more command. That's the command, that's Azure find module. If you want to get the all install module, then you can use the command get dash module, and let's see what we get if we simply run the command. So when we simply executed this module get dash module command, it listed some of the modules. Let's see what are the parameters, additional parameters to this command. So we can see we have another important parameter, that's list available. So when we are running command get dash module dash list available, this will list all the modules, PowerShell modules which are installed on your system. So these are the default modules which are installed along with the operating systems. And then here we can see the different Azure modules which we installed just now using AZ uh, module command, install dash module command, and then we provided AZ as the name of the module. Okay, so this way we are able to run our PowerShell successfully. We install the PowerShell. Now, in case while running PowerShell commands, if you received any errors related to the execution, then execution policy, then you can set the default execution policy. Let me increase the font a little bit more. Okay, so you can, if you get an error like uh, not able to run the command due to the execution policy, then you can run a command. First of all, let's get any execution policy. Get execution policy. So here it is says restricted. Now, if we try to run any kind of scripts, then we will get errors. Or even if we try to run the commands, it's possible we will get errors. So that's why what we have to set the execution policy. Set dash execution policy, then set the execution policy parameter name, and here you can type remote sign, and then you can give the scope can be current user or computer. So I will hit enter and give the default option, and now you can say yes. So this way now we can run the command without any kind of restrictions. It will not restrict the PowerShell command or scripts from executing. Okay. Now, if in case in future you want to update the module, in case there is a new version has been released by the vendor, then you can use the command update dash module to update the existing installed module. Okay, so the module will contain all the commands which you can use to manage the any application. So in this case, we are going to use AZ module and all its command to manage the Azure infrastructure. Okay, and if you need any kind of help or if you need a help with the module, you can enter the command name. Let first see how we can get the help. You can use the command get dash help, and so basically this will print the help for any command. Let's say there is a command, we will use simple command right now, get, and then I will say get dash item. So this is one command. Okay, right now it says it don't have any help information. Do you want to update? We will say yes. Okay, update it, and now it is downloading the help for the PowerShell management module. Or you can see it is downloading the help for all other modules also. So it has updated the help for our all the modules which are installed. And now we can run the previous same command get dash help dash name get dash name. So you can pass the command name as a parameter to get the help for specific command. So here you can see the help details for this particular command. Get item is the command name for which we are looking. In case you want to look for help for any Azure command, then you can type any command get dash azvm. So this is the command name to get the Azure virtual machine, and now we are trying to find a help for that command. Let's see what output we get here. Okay, so here we can see what is the name, synopsis, syntax. In syntax, we can see what all different parameters are available with us, or the parameters which we can pass to this command to run it successfully. And also we can see the description, and then we can see some more related commands and links. And here we can see different parameters, but we don't see any kind of examples. So if you need any kind of examples which are available for this command, then we can type get dash help dash name, then the name of the command, here in this case get dash azvm, and then type examples. So this will show you some example how you can run command by using different parameters. So this last example is we can enter the command name dash resource group name, then enter the name of resource group dash name of the VM, and then you can type user data. This is additional parameter to get the user data information. Okay, and then here also you can see some additional example, get all virtual machine in a specific location. So you can type command get dash azvm dash location west us. So this command will print all the virtual machines from west us location which you have deployed in your Azure portal. Same way, this command, it will simply run get azvm and print all the VMs, or it will get the information for all virtual machines deployed in the Azure. And again, it will get the VMs information from your subscription only, from for the subscription on which you are working right now. So what I'll do, I will just close the PowerShell which I had started as an administrator, and then I can open a PowerShell with normal user. Okay, so it should load the PowerShell automatically. In case you do not find PowerShell loaded automatically, you can use the command import dash module. So you can use this command, type dash name and then az. So this will load the PowerShell module in your current working environment. But again, if you have already set the execution mode policy as a remote sign, then this will, whenever you launch the PowerShell, it will automatically load the PowerShell module, required PowerShell modules. It will automatically load. Okay, then there are other different commands like remove dash azvm, start dash azvm, or stop dash azvm. There are multiple commands available for you. You can use any commands, or if you don't know which command you need to use and you want to list all the commands which are available in that specific module, for that you can use a command get dash command. Let's say we don't know what all commands are available related to word VM or for VM management. So I just type get dash command and then I typed star VM star. So it will list all the commands which are available for you to manage the VM, or it will list all the VMs which has word VM. So you can see there are lots of commands available which has a word VM, right from AZVM, AZSQL VM, or new AZVMSS. So this way you can find the commands. Or in case you want to see all the commands which are available from specific PowerShell module. In case you have multiple PowerShell modules available, then you can print all the commands which are available in one specific modules. Okay, so now I type the command as get dash command dash module and then the name of the module az.accounts. In this case, we are looking for all the commands related to the account management. Okay, and same for virtual network. Let's say you want to find all the commands related to virtual network. So now what we can do, type name star. Okay, so we want to find all the commands which has the word virtual network, and again we got all the commands in the output, and again you can find identify which command you want to use and accordingly uh, see additional information for this command. Now I want to see the help for this particular command, get help, and then type the name of the command, get dash az virtual network. So this will print all the help information for this particular command. Okay, so you can see there is basic information available. These commands gets one or more virtual network in a resource group. If you want to see the example, again you can pass the parameter dash examples, and it will show you different examples how you can run the command and what are the minimum parameters you can pass to get the desired result. Okay, so this is how you can run the PowerShell command and get basic help or find out the commands. Okay, now let's move forward. And so now we have installed the PowerShell. Now we can see how we can create Azure resources using PowerShell. Let's say we have install the PowerShell. Now we need to work on our Azure resources. We want to create the virtual machines using PowerShell. So we are going to use Azure Sandbox. This is the Azure Learning Sandbox available from Microsoft. We can use it to do our exercise. These particular sandbox don't require any kind of account. You can simply click on sign in to activate the sandbox and then log into Microsoft portal using your personal account. You can use any email address, but I will suggest you to use your personal account so that it does not get conflicted with your official accounts. Okay, in case you don't have any Microsoft account, you can click on create one, enter your email address, whatever Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, Live. You can use any email address and then set your password, do the verification, and then you will be able to use that account email address to sign into Microsoft portal. So here I will use my personal account. I have already created my account to the Microsoft portal. So I can simply use that account to activate the Microsoft Sandbox so that we can use the sandbox to perform any kind of lab activities. And in case you have your personal account or paid Microsoft subscription, you can do that also. But in this case, we are going to use the Microsoft Sandbox services, which is a free of cost. It does not need any kind of uh, it does not need any kind of credit card or billing information. So here on this screen, you can enter your username and password. I will pause the screen and complete the information. Uh, you can provide your phone number here. So for the first time, whenever you account activate your sandbox, it will be asking you to create your account, email account, and then it will ask you to confirm your mobile number. So in this case, I have completed the mobile number verification process. and then I enter my SMS one-time password which I received, and now it is asking to review the permission. So basically, this sandbox, it will be creating one Azure account in the Azure portal, and then it will create a testing subscription. You can accept the permissions whatever it is requesting. So it will be creating your Azure portal account, and also it will provide you one testing subscription. That subscription will have limited features, like you cannot do anything in the portal. Whatever is mentioned on this exercise page, you can only do those activities in the learning sandbox. You cannot run any other commands, or even if you try to do something, then it may throw errors. Here you can see it is activating the sandbox. We have to wait. It may take some time, but it will not take more than 1 or 2 minutes. So now our sandbox has been successfully activated. On the right side, you can see the instructions, what all commands we need to run. And in the left side, in the same browser, it will connect to Azure Cloud Shell, which is a command line interface. So it is directly giving you the Cloud Shell in the same browser so that you can easily run the commands. In case you want to open portal.azure.com, you can do that also. Let me try to access the portal.azure.com, and here let me complete the sign in, and you can see it is, since we have already logged into the sandbox, it is automatically also signing in into the Azure portal. So if I go to the, I don't want a tour, so if we go to the directories, I will click on switch directory, and now here you can see by default it has created one Microsoft Learn Sandbox directory. So we are inside this directory, and now if I try to find the subscriptions, we should see a learning subscription and nothing more. And again, we will have very limited access to perform any kind of activities here, since we need to do only the exercise which Microsoft has given to us. We don't want to do anything more than that. Okay, so now to create a virtual machine, we can use command new dash azvm. So this is the command which we can run to create any virtual machine in the Azure portal. You can definitely create virtual machines from the console also. From the Azure portal, you can search for Azure virtual machine, and then you can use the browser user interface to create the virtual machines. However, since we are learning how to create the virtual machine using PowerShell, let's use the PowerShell command. Also, you can launch the Azure Cloud Shell from here, from the Azure portal directly. You can click on this Cloud Shell icon, which will launch the Cloud Shell in the Azure portal. However, again, since in exercise, Microsoft is directly providing you the Cloud Shell console directly in the same browser page. Okay, now here you can see the command new dash az. uh, you can directly copy this command by clicking on this copy button and then paste that command in the Cloud Shell. So let's understand what exactly we are doing. So here we are running command new dash azvm is the command name. Then we have typed the dash resource group name. Then this is the resource group which is available in the sandbox subscription. And then dash name. This is the name of our virtual machine, test vm dash eus dash 01. And then we need to create the credential for that virtual machine. So whatever virtual machine we are creating, for that we need to create our username and password. And for that we are using get dash credential command, so that interactively it will ask us to provide our username password. Then location, in which Azure region we need to create the virtual machine, that we need to specify. Then provide the image of the operating system which we want to deploy. Then dash open ports 22, like we want to open port number 22 since it's a Linux virtual machine. And also we want to have a public IP address created, and for that we have given a name test dash dash test vm dash 01. Okay, let's hit enter, and now it is asking me to create the account, so I can Okay, so I created the new username. I'm providing the username and the password details, which will be automatically created inside the new virtual machine, which will get created using this command. Okay, so now you can see the virtual machine is getting created. We need to wait for the virtual machine deployment to get completed. And once the virtual machine creation completes, then we can run additional command to get the information about the virtual machine. While the VM creation is in progress, we can go to the portal and then refresh it here. Let's refresh the browser, and then we can see the VM creation, like whether the VM is created or not, and whether the additional VM components like the disk and network adapters are created or not. So here we can see the new virtual machine has been created. We are running the virtual machine creation command from PowerShell, and we can see the new virtual machine has been created. Now, as usual, we can go select the virtual machine and find additional information about the virtual machine. On the overview page, we can see the IP address. So here we can see the public IP address. Obviously, this public IP address will get very soon. As soon as I close the sandbox or the sandbox times out, then this virtual machine will get deleted. This IP address will be deleted. It will no longer it will be available. We can see the public IP, internal IP, and the basic VM information. Ubuntu VM, the version plan, the CPU memory configuration, all information can be seen here. Okay, so now in the output also you can see some basic information. So we have this way we have created new virtual machine using PowerShell. Now let's see how we can play around with our virtual machine using different PowerShell command. Now we can get these, we can use get dash az vm command and get newly created virtual machine. We need to provide the name of the virtual machine and dash resource group name, from which resource group we need to take a name, take the VM information. And now I am storing that VM information in $VM variable. Hit enter here. Okay, so now we have got the information of our virtual machine, and that information is stored in the $VM variable. So we ran command $VM is equal colon, sorry, bracket, then get dash VM dash name of the VM, and then we provided the resource group name. Okay, so we got the VM information. And now again, if we simply type that $VM, then it will print the VM information. We can see it here, like name of the VM and then additional information. Then if we want to find specific information about this VM, then we can run the PowerShell command like $VM.hardware profile. So it will print the hardware profile. If we want to print only VM name, then we can type the $VM.name. So this way we can get very specific information whatever is needed. Again, what we are learning here is very basic. We are just trying to understand how we can run different PowerShell command and get the output. Now, if we need a specific output, then we can run the same command and again use the pipe. Then you can use the select dash object command to select the specific information from the output. Let's say we want to select the OS type, then we want to select the name, and then we want to select the size of the disk size. GB is the name of that output. So here you can see, instead of look checking all this information, we have given specific information. We want to see only this information, so that's why we have given only those values or the strings to see the output. Then also you can see $VM, and then you can pass this command to additional commands. Okay, $VM and then az get dash az VM size. Okay, so this will check what all sizes are available for this virtual machine. In case you want to change the CPU memory of your virtual machine, then you can use command get dash azvm size, and it will print all possible sizes which are available for your virtual machine. If you want to get the public IP information from that VM, then you can type command get dash az public IP address, resource group name, and name of the virtual machine. So this will print the IP address which is assigned to your virtual machine. So as of now, I got this IP address. Okay, and now from the same machine, I can run command ssh and whatever name you had given to that virtual machine during the virtual machine creation. So enter your username. Do not use this username, it will not work for you. And now I'm entering the command ssh my username at the rate my public IP address or the IP address of your virtual machine. Whatever IP address you have got for your virtual machine, you need to enter it there. And then enter the password which you have set during the VM creation. And it looks like I mistyped the password and it's not working. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you can see if you forgot your password, then that's it. You will not be able to log in it. You will have to reset the password or you will have to redeploy the virtual machine. So this way, once you have established connection with your machine, you can type exit command and exit the Linux connection or the session, and then again you will come back to your PowerShell or the Cloud Shell console. You can use stop-azvm command to stop your virtual machine. Let's do that. So you want to power off your virtual machine or stop the running virtual machine, then you can use command az stop a dash azvm. So this is the command to stop your virtual machine. To delete the virtual machine, if you want to delete the virtual machine, then you can use remove dash azvm, then dash name. You can give the name of your virtual machine. However, we have already set the variable $VM. So instead of typing virtual machine name again, we are using the previous variable name and specific string to get the virtual machine name. And also instead of typing the resource group name, we are typing $vm dot resource group name so that it will get the value from the previous variable which we have already set. Okay, so now if we again go back to the portal, so previously the virtual machine status was running. Now I will refresh it and now we should see the machine status as stopped. So you can see this machine has been powered off or deallocated. Okay, so let me run next command to delete the virtual machine. So we have stopped the virtual machine and now we are using remove dash azvm command, and now I'm giving option as yes or y. So this will remove the virtual machine which we have created. Let's give it a time so that it can remove the virtual machine, or basically it will delete the virtual machine. Virtual machine has been deleted successfully. And now if you want to get the resources or all resources which were used by this virtual machine, then you can use command get dash az resource command and then enter the resource group name $vm dot resource group name, and then yeah, you can use pipe and the next command format dash table. So this will basically format the output. Instead of giving the output in JSON format, it will provide the output in the table format. Format dash table command you can use for that. So even after deleting the virtual machine, the disk and the network interface or the public interface which we had created for this virtual machine, those resources are not deleted. So if you want to delete those of resources separately, then you can use the specific command to remove the object. Like if you want to remove the network interface card, then you can use $vm pipe remove dash az network interface and force. So this will remove the network interface card. Then you can use the command to get disk and then delete the disk. So first we will get the disk, get dash az disk, enter the resource group name and disk name, and then use the command pipe remove dash az disk and force. So that will remove your virtual disk. Remember, first we are getting the object using the get command, and then we are removing the object using the remove dash az disk command or any other remove command, depend on the what command is available to you. Also, we had created a network to deploy this virtual machine. That network also can be removed using remove-az virtual network. For that also, first we can get the network using get-az virtual network, and then enter the name of the resource group, and then you can enter the command remove-az virtual network. We want to learn the PowerShell commands and get familiar with that. That's why we are running the commands manually one by one. Instead of doing this everything manually or one after another, you can simply go to the portal, or you can use the command to delete the resource group. Instead of deleting each object separately, you can completely delete the resource group, and that will delete everything. Okay. Now we can delete the network security group. Network security group, it helps you to filter the traffic or secure your Azure resources. That also we need to delete. And it's good practice that whenever you create any testing resources, make sure that you delete those resources so that Microsoft will not charge you for those resources. Okay, so now you can see we have deleted the network security group. And the last object which is still there is the public IP address. We can also run this command get az public IP address, give the name of the resource group, and then remove dash az public remove dash az public IP address. Okay, so this way we have deleted all the resources which we created to learn PowerShell. Make sure that whatever resources you are creating in your Azure subscription, make sure that you delete those so that you will not get charged for those resources. Now, if we see, we don't have any virtual machine here. Okay, thank you.